And you are seeing my foray earlier today on stream into the new patch. I guess you could call it the second major patch for UFL. And quite frankly, I was pleasantly surprised, right? So I said it on stream many times, and I want to make it clear why I am saying this, okay? I'll say it again, though. No, UFL is not comparable to EAFC post patch. It's just not. EAFC in so many ways is a superior game. However, as many will say, including myself, of course it is. EAFC has much more money, has been around much longer, so it's expected to be better. The thing is, prior to this patch, UFL actually would have been the superior game had this patch came out for UFL prior to when EAFC essentially saved their franchise and their game that basically crashed and burned. Now EAFC, EA Sports doesn't deserve a pat on the back, as I've also said, because they should have done this years ago. However, UFL does deserve somewhat of a pat on the back because they were going in a terrible direction too. They missed a lot of things in their last patch, and they did a pretty darn good job. They definitely made the game playable and pretty fun. There are some things which you'll see in this video. There are still those odd, glitchy games, and it just so happens, like you'll see in this video, check out the game, some of the gameplay versus that Santa Mamba. All right, you'll see it in here. I think it's a second or third. But out of every game I played, and you can check through this video yourself and see, every other game felt fine, felt good for UFL. Of course, the Santa Mamba one felt ridiculous. Ball hitting off goalies' faces, goofy goals, defenders not reacting. So I don't know if some of these players just have the ability to, they know what they're doing as far as glitches go. I've never known really in football gaming, period, how that happens. It always seems to be the same players where no matter how good the gameplay is, it will be bad against them. And they happen to be the same players that are very glitchy and go for the nonsense goals. That really just isn't football. Whether that's that Plas King, Jonathan 2011, or this Santa Mamba guy, right? And you could say what you want about, oh, well, it's if you lose, it's if you win. I've beaten that Santa Mama's guy, and you can check my math on this. Go back through my daily grind. I beat him about 60-something times. Literally, quite literally. And he always goes crazy. He's one of those. But at the end of the day, it's like, I'm just speaking the truth. Same with that Plas King. If you play good football, if you play in a way that can promote the game and that's fun, so be it. If you go for OP mechanics, so be it. They're in the game. Maybe they should be nerfed, but they're in the game. However, if you were a cheat, if you go for literal bugs that aren't supposed to be in the game and they help you win despite your lack of skill, then you are nonsense. You're a cheat. You're actually anti the game, right? You're killing the game. You can't promote that stuff. You can't show highlights of that stuff, and it's not fun. No one wants to do it, and it doesn't show any skill when you win anyway. It means nothing. And that's why I'm always calling those players out, because they ruin any game they play. With that being said, there was only one out of like 4 or 5 games or whatever. But for the most part, it was great. I put the stat lines in at halftime and post game on these games so you could see. Previously, you weren't being rewarded. You would outshoot someone 10 shots to 1 and it would be 0-0. Now, for the most part, you get rewarded. And the crazy thing is, I absolutely think EAFC was influenced by UFL as far as their defensive spacing and lack of AI support. But it does seem like UFL actually went more towards AI assistance and a little less spaced out on the defense. At least that's what it seems like with how many defenders are like in the box and stacked back at a time. It seems pretty park the buck bus like at times. So I would like to actually see that go back to before, but you guys let me know what you think, if you feel like the AI assistance on UFL and the spacing and defensively at least has kind of gone the wrong direction. But overall, pleasantly surprised. I will not only be streaming both games, but I will be providing content for both games, EAFC and UFL. Honestly, was not expecting UFL to respond like this, because I figured that last patch they would have hit everything they could. So it is a good thing. It means that for us football game fans and players, we get great content. We get great games. We have 2 great games to play. They both have their positives, in their own right. And it's going to be a fun time. I know I'm excited, and there's no reason to even compete or talk about which one's better. let's just play what we want to play and enjoy both. Simple as that.